To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilmember Brion?
Yes.
Councilmember Carr?
Here.
Councilmember Diego?
Here.
Councilmember Wells?
Yes. Here.
And Mayor O'Neill.
Here.
First on the agenda is the approval of minutes from the March 15, 2017 meeting.
Somebody like to offer?
I will. I'll second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Brion?
Yes.
Councilmember Carr?
Abstain.
Councilmember Diego?
Yes.
Councilmember Wells?
Yes.
Mayor O'Neill.
Yes.
The minutes have been approved. Next is the consent agenda consisting of item resolution 095, which is authorizing an award of contract to Wright National Flood Insurance Company.
Point. Do you read them all first? Okay. My apologies.
Resolution 096, accepting a resignation of Office of Emergency Management Coordinator. Resolution 097, it's a mayoral appointment to replace the Office of Emergency Management Coordinator. There's Resolution 098, which is authorizing the payment of bills. 099 is appointing a licensed C2 operator and alternate operator for the sewer operation services. And Resolution 101, approving the fire department membership application.
R 17097, the individual will be identified, so just make note of that.
Is that a name?
It's a mayoral appointment.
Patrick Mason.
Any comments from the public?
Yeah, I'll open it up. Public.
Carl Walker, 330 Shore Drive. I just noticed, I'm not sure about this, but the Wright National Flood Insurance Company was one that had great problems in New Jersey. They denied the engineers' reports and changed the engineers' reports. So I just want to be sure, and I'm sure you have, done due diligence in choosing them for your insurance company. And I didn't see a resolution approving a fire department membership application.
R 17101.
Yeah, I know, I see it here, but it wasn't online, I don't think.
A lot of stuff wasn't online. A lot of stuff didn't come out until real late.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, all we have is this paper. Luckily, I picked up the information I wanted this afternoon.
Anything else?
Well, is it somebody or is it?
Yeah, there's a name on it.
Brian Seward. Brian Seward. Brian Seward.
Seward?
Mhm.
That's all.
Anybody else? Questions? I'll close this.
I'll offer the consent agenda.
I'll second it. Roll call.
Councilmember Brian,
Yes.
Councilmember Carr,
Yes.
Councilmember Diarigo,
Yes.
Councilmember Wells,
Yes.
Mayor O'Neill.
No, I vote no on 17099.
And that one has to be pulled from the consent agenda. That one will be pulled from the consent agenda. So you'll recall that one again on other resolutions. Okay, so now the consent agenda excludes R17099.
Councilmember Brian,
Yes.
Councilmember Carr,
Yes.
Councilmember Diarigo,
Yes.
Councilmember Wells,
Yes.
Mayor O'Neill.
No,
On the consent agenda,
Minus
minus, it's
minus
excluding, it's
99, yes.
excluding
Okay, I thought you
17099,
voted on
all
99.
others except the appointment of the
Okay.
licensee to
I
operate.
was being distracted.
That's okay. So the consent agenda is all but like R17099.
Okay.
I did.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And then for separate consideration would be Resolution 17099, which would be appointing a licensed C2 operator and alternate operator for sewer operation services.
I will offer it.
Second it. Roll call.
Councilmember Brian,
Yes.
Councilmember Carr,
Yes.
Councilmember Diarigo.
Yes.
Councilmember Wells,
Yes.
Mayor O'Neill.
No. The reason I vote no is I believe that the stipend that's being awarded is already included in the agreement we made when we hired the man.
And resolution.
I know it was, as a matter of fact.
Not a matter of fact, for the
As a
record.
matter of fact, you weren't there. Okay, go on to the next one.
Next for consideration is Resolution 17-100 would be the adoption of the 2017 municipal budget, which would require a public hearing before adoption.
Open up the public. Anybody have any questions, comments?
All right, I guess I'll go first.
Your name and address?
Kim Skorka, Shore Drive. I did an analysis of the budget, and just in general, I'm finding a lot of increases in our expenses, and it's offset by a decrease in payment of bonds. When we start bonding for these projects for flood mitigation, our taxes are gonna skyrocket because we're not being very austere in our budgets. I do have some specific questions, I'll try and keep it to the larger ones. For Borough Council, we're holding steady at $50,000 for other expenses, but we pulled out the, I believe, $42,000 or whatever it is for the grant writer. So I'm not sure why our other expenses in that line item haven't gone down.
In the, which line item?
Borough Council,
Council.
other expenses. Let's see if I can find where it went. Yeah, $42,000 for grant writer. It's a new line item in 2017, but in years past, it was always attributed to the council other items.
So if I may just expand
Sure,
upon
will you
that,
please?
last year, the mayor and council's account had appropriation of $66,000. So this year in 2017, we dropped that number down to 50, and we did pull out, like Kim had suggested, we did pull out the grants writer as a separate line item for 42. We just want to monitor the grants writer expenditure a little bit more. And I know Council President Bouillon and the mayor and Brian Gagan were in the meeting there. And I think that the mayor and council's account, it went from 66 down to 50, and I just think they had more things you wanted to accomplish. And I don't know specifically what we wanted to do in there. But as we discussed, we kind of held to that number.
Yes, I think that's fair.
Okay, what other things are you planning on doing?
It simply came from the
It's simply
chair.
a fund in case something does come up out of the ordinary that we.
Okay. And then legal services, they've almost doubled in the last 5 years. What's going on with the borough, and is there any, like, why are we spending, in 2013, we spent $120,000, we're now budgeting $230,000. What are we doing to, I mean, if we have legal things, we need to handle them now, but what are we doing to keep this under control going forward?
I think what we're trying to do is straighten out some of the problems that have arose lately
Okay,
or from over the past and be able to address them. And there are some issues that I think that we might be held accountable for, that we're gonna need some dough to take care of.
so we're still cleaning up our messes.
Okay?
Okay.
Agreed?
Yeah, no,
Anyone
some
else?
of that,
Sure,
I think
yep.
it's important to understand that, with the new attorney on board, we've discovered, and the new BA, we've discovered some very poor practices. And unfortunately, it takes legal to straighten them out. Hopefully, it's only one time strike.
And our ordinance book needed to be really revised.
Okay.
Still not-
And I just want to point out that last year when we changed from the planning and zoning boards to a combined land use board, we were told there were going to be cost savings. There's none budgeted.
We have saved them.
Okay.
We have saved money on that, substantially.
One was a drum.
Yeah, I think I can talk to that better, but we have saved.
Sure, I'll yell out some numbers here real quick. In 2016, we had for the planning board, we set aside $23,000 and the same amount for the zoning board. So we had 23 set aside for each one of those departments. Now we combined it in what we call a municipal land use law, and the total budget there was 31. So we did go from what, 23, 46
to
down to
31.
31.
Okay. When you combine it all, we're spending we budgeted just about the same that we spent last year. Pat, you're familiar.
That's fair.
I like to
Sure.
I like to compare what we spent,
Yeah, that's fair,
not
we did.
necessarily budgets.
Also, to that expenditure, when we combined land use board, we all got an understanding there was gonna be a transitional year there because it was new for everybody. And we didn't wanna jeopardize either board having the necessary funding to be able to conduct proper business.
Okay. I saw the flood insurance resolution. Is there something else we're paying for that we budgeted $20,000? Are there other buildings that are going to be covered later this year?
Right, so Kim is referring to sheet 15 of the budget. We broke out of our general liability insurance account, we added a new line item called general liability flood insurance. And that's also a mechanism for us to track this expenditure. We're projecting that it's a new charge in 2017, and it's going to be $20,000. So we wanted to present that to the public so we can all see what's going on there.
Okay, so are we going to have flood insurance on buildings other than just the community center?
We will need to in order to become compliant with FEMA, so that means the fire department,
Okay.
the borough offices, DPW.
The trailers? Okay.
Exactly. And that flood insurance number that we're paying will most likely will go down once the maps are accepted and we're back in the 80s zone. So all of those, that 7,500 or so that we're paying on this next year will likely be at least cut in half.
Okay.
Yeah, that was rough way down.
Another round of applause for Dale Lubner.
Sorry, I should have highlighted my big ticket
Okay,
items.
we'll just find what the rest you gotta do. Does anybody else like to ask? And I'll come back to you, Kim.
Well, the rest of my questions have to do with the capital projects. On one of them, it was Shore Drive resurfacing phase 2, and I wasn't sure. I thought that was done.
It is complete.
Okay, there's $500,000 in the capital budget for 2017 for Shore Drive phase 2, which I thought was my section of Shore Drive.
It was.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and the capital section is simply there as a spending guide. Spending, every time we do an ordinance, it gets amended. And thank you for clarifying that, but it won't cost the town anything by listing it as an ongoing project.
I think that's it for now. Thank you.
Francie?
Excuse me, Chris Francie, 36 Fifth Street. Yeah, following up on the capital budget, I had sent an email to Pat asking for clarification, and I realized he couldn't answer it, but hopefully he can answer it now. Essentially, that's showing on the DCA fiscal reports that we are within $3 million of our bonding limit, I think. And that's without having, placed the bonds, done any capital bonding for, the new offices, or doing the bonding for the project, the flood control project. So I'm not sure I understand that, and if it's true, then where did we spend all of these capital monies?
May I answer that? Yeah.
Sure.
So it certainly is true. So what you read online is what the borough had filed. And that was filed there by January 31st, reflecting our activity through December 31st, 2016. But since then, we had sat down with the mayor, Councilwoman Brion, the manager, and I believe Rebecca Kane and the engineer. And we went through and we analyzed our capital projects, and we managed to cut back and cancel capital items that were no longer needed. And I believe Dale gave a nice presentation on the board, and I believe you were present. So we went all through that. And by canceling out those items, we now have, as of today, the bonding capacity of $7,710,000. So by canceling the old ordinances that were virtually a placeholder and weren't activities we were going to do, we canceled that and we did a new ordinance. And I had mentioned it was fully funded. So we used all of our own funds. But the answer to your question is, today we have $7,710,000 of borrowing capacity, and that gets decreased every year by the bond payments that Kim alluded to in the budget.
But 7 million left for the town hall and the flood control project, of which we have 1/8 bonded.
Yeah, we had initially set up $3 million for the new municipal facility. So that's already counted in these numbers.
Okay.
And that's also a placeholder. And part of that was bonded, like you said, yeah.
And I'm wondering whether then you could summarize of our, you have 7 million, and I guess our limit is 22?
Yeah, we can go up to 21.
21. So our bonding capacity is 21 million?
Yeah.
We have less 7, that takes us down to 15?
Yeah,
It's 14?
Sure.
And of the 14, some of that is in fact a placeholder. Could you?
Yeah.
All right. Of the 14, what's a placeholder? 3 for the
Municipal building,
and
everything else. Everything from, I can't list every bond that's in there, but every time we do a capital ordinance, it authorizes debt, right? Or
Right.
not a fully funded ordinance, but any bond ordinance authorizes debt. So it's a culmination of all those ordinances. I could read off a few if you like.
well, I guess I'm really interested. Are we able to go with both the office, the new offices, and the flood control? Can we do both?
Or 4 bonded for flood control already.
Yeah, that's already in
Yeah, or 4-1, something like that. There was 1.1 that was bonded early, Chris. That I think council bonded another 3 million. I think it's like about 4-1. It bonded in that number that Pat gave. That's put aside for that project.
For the flood control?
Correct.
So what I'm hearing you say at this point, 4-1 could be a placeholder, and if the project's going to be 5-5, we only have to bond another $1.3 million.
Correct.
Give or take.
Correct.
Okay.
And just to mention, when you talk about our debt limits, they change, right? Every time the town valuations change, it's based upon your town's valuation over the last 3 years, so it's constantly changing.
Right. But it's disappointing. When I looked at those numbers, I was disappointed that the town valuation has not bounced back from Sandy at all. I mean, we're still 604, and we were almost 700 before Sandy.
Probably need to be reassessed, huh? Have to think.
Reassessing doesn't change much, really.
Say that.
Reassessment is a zero-sum game. What goes up, goes down, at this point, it's just it's a statement of the way the marketplace values our property. It's,
Well, those values are on the rise. Correct?
barely.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. You get the numbers on some of the places places that are moving now, and you've never heard numbers like that before.
I hear what you're saying.
I'm just saying.
No, I hear what you're saying. It's just that when you look on the DCA website, our valuation number total for the town
Mhm.
is hardly going up.
Right.
Individual properties, maybe yes.
Well, the whole is part of the sum, correct? So if you're in my place stays at the same value, and Becky and Carolyn's go up, you would tend to think that makes the whole thing go up, correct?
Yeah.
You would think that, I don't know,
I was disappointed. 604 was a low number as far as I'm concerned.
So I'm just gonna yell out two numbers real quick here for clarification. In 2012, our town was worth 606 million. And in 2017, after the appeals that have been filed, we're valued at 594 million. So we're getting back. Not too far off.
anything else, Chris?
No, I'm good.
Anybody
Thank
else, on the budget? Are you done, you're good, kid?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Kim.
Seeing no more questions, I'll close public portion on the budget.
We need a motion to adopt the resolution 17-100, which is the 2017 municipal budget.
I'll make it.
I'll second.
Councilmember Brian,
Yes.
Councilmember Farr,
Yes.
Councilmember DeRigo,
Yes.
Councilmember Wells,
Yes.
and Mayor O'Neill.
Yes.
And the budget has been adopted. Next is introduction of ordinance 17-11, which is an ordinance amending chapter 2, section 41 of the Code of the Borough of Highlands by addition thereto a new section entitled Registration Fees for Summer Recreation Program.
It's also my understanding that the date of June 1st as a deadline is being changed to June 15th.
Anybody like to move that? I'll offer it.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brian,
Yes.
Councilmember Carr,
Yes.
Councilmember DeRigo,
Yes.
Councilmember Wells,
No.
and Mayor O'Neill.
No.
And this ordinance has been introduced and will have a public hearing and possible adoption on May 3rd, 2017.
May 3rd. May 5th.
Next on the agenda is public hearing and possible adoption of ordinance number 17-09, which is an ordinance amending chapter 3-7 of the Borough Code concerning the separation and collection of aluminum building materials, debris, garbage, glass, metal, and non-metal objects, paper, and trash.
Open this to the public. Let's buck up.
Harold Bucker, 330 Shore Drive. I would have brought a copy with me, but I thought a copy would be provided this afternoon, because I had asked the people at the Borough Hall to make me a copy, but because my printer doesn't work. And after I went through it, things were adding up, and I found out that they skipped the real page. So,
Hang on,
Does it
Bill.
work
Here's
in
your mine.
sense?
so I had
Here's
to,
your mine.
no, that's okay, because I've written my notes.
You have a question?
You don't,
Yes,
you don't
I
want
do
this
have
14-page ordinance, really?
Question is,
I have all the questions written down, don't worry.
All right.
On page 13, under D, I'll tell you what mine's doing. There was a thing there about putting the dumpster on the street.
Your page 13 doesn't have letter D. You want to look at, so you may want to look at Carol's.
Oh, no, she printed it off separately, so it would be the 13th page, not the 13th page
Oh,
back.
page, okay.
Oh, not the 13 page in fact. 13 page on the ordinance. 13 page on the ordinance.
Thanks, Chris. Okay, D.
Find it where it says about putting dumpsters on the curb. Doesn't it?
I've got A's and B's and C's.
It's towards the bottom. Maybe I'm on the wrong page. It's something about putting roll-off dumpsters on the curb, and you have to remove them. You can't put them out at a certain time, you have to remove them at a certain time or something. It doesn't fit the TAC towers, that's the problem.
Okay.
And the reason it doesn't fit the TAC towers, which is probably the only person in town that puts their dumpster on the street, and they put it out earlier and take it in later, than the times that are specified. So you might have to make an exception to that. I don't know, you can look at it, but I don't know if that's correct or not. Now we have to
Do you
go
know
back.
Do you know which section you're referring to?
She's referring to section 3-7.6, recycling requirements, section D.
I think it's like page 5. 3.7.
3-7.6, recycling requirements.
Right?
14.
Well, that page is a little screwed up.
No person shall park or be unattended in the waste or refuse container.
That section was not changed aside from the fee for the
No, I don't think that's it, I don't think that's a fee. Well, we'll skip it, I'll find it but the only concern I had with that, whatever page that is exactly, was the fact that the TAC towers is not able to conform to the timeout, putting it out after 5 and taking it in before 8. It doesn't conform. But I think they're the only roll-off dumpster that's rolled out to the street. So, don't worry about it. Page 11. Now, I'm all in the ordinance pages. I'm not in any other pages, just the ones in the ordinance. Page 11, it says something about, the first line says something about, it's continued from the page 10, which I didn't have, so, but on page 11 it says you can't put your garbage out in plastic bags anymore. And I know that everybody in town puts their garbage out in plastic bags. Nobody has containers, plastic, or, you know. You're certainly gonna notify the people of this in due time before you start.
This wasn't a change, this was already an existing ordinance.
I
And the
know
reason
it-
that
I
we
know
ask
it
that you
was.
have it in metal or plastic is because if you don't, then the critters get it.
Oh,
And then it crashes
absolutely, I
all
know
over the
they're having a
street.
lot of trouble on the hill with the critters getting in. And, you know, and I agree that it was always there, but, you know, all the people that put it out, are you gonna fine all those people? You've gotta notify them.
Well, we're gonna
first.
notify them.
Notified, but we're gonna enforce it.
Okay. That's fine.
Buck, would you like my extra copies so that you can refer, it's easier for us to refer?
I don't wanna
give you our
copy
copy.
so you have to look at yours.
It's a lot easier, so that's fine.
Okay, let's go to page 12.
There should be page numbers on the bottom.
Yeah. Page 12, I got a note about recyclables one time per week. And I didn't write down exactly where that was, because I read it. Here it is. Collection for recyclable materials shall be one time per week. We don't have recyclables collected one time a week. We only have them collected every other month. And that is underlined, so that obviously must be a change. So, you know, this, if we collect it one time per week, that will be an additional charge on the garbage and sanitation.
Is that your intent for one time a week?
Is it every 2 weeks, but one time each week?
Are you
No,
referring to the
no,
commercial?
it depends on your zone.
No, I know,
but
I
it's
think what you're
twice a
saying
month.
is,
Like the garbage is
right,
collected
it might be one
twice a week?
Wednesday, but not.
Yeah,
Exactly,
that's
twice
what
a
we're
month.
paying twice a month.
Once
I
a
hear what
week,
you're saying.
twice a month,
Apparently, that's not what it says.
just
No,
not.
it's not.
I can see that reading, I can see where it's a little confusing.
Okay,
So Brian, would that be considered a substantive change, Mr. Shabaric?
Yes, but I'm trying to specify, is this 3-7.5?
It's a three, yes, 3-7.5 question about report 9. It says one time per week, it should
Right.
say twice per month per zone, as per your zone or something like that.
well, you see, the other one wasn't even in here, so you were probably just trying to make one that worked.
No, the old version said it was once per week too. You see the strikeout?
But it just said borough, Highlands Borough Sanitation.
Yeah, but
Right, so it was there when we used to do it.
It's underlined.
No, but I mean, it's changed since the borough's done it. It's just being updated a little bit longer.
Right.
All right, we'll just change it 2 times per month. 1 time a week.
Yeah, that's, it's 2 times per month listed in the,
As per your zone.
is the zone, yeah, in the
Does
zone.
that constitute a major change?
it's 2 times per month.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's by zone.
Maybe the 1 time per week is everybody's gonna pick up the same day, right? They only pick it up once every 2 weeks, but they pick the whole town up.
No, they only pick up the zone. They pick up zone 1 on
We're just trying to.
zone 1 and something else on, they pick up on,
Every second Wednesday, they pick mine
first,
up.
first and third Wednesday,
Oh, okay.
first and third Wednesday, right?
All right.
Page 14, I had a question, do we have a certified recycling coordinator?
Yes, we do. Our
Okay.
DPW superintendent has that accreditation.
Okay. Now, on 20, page 20. Is the borough now?
Again this week?
Huh?
Were you sick again this week?
No, actually, that's why I'm so disoriented, because I didn't have a lot of time to do this. I only had about an hour or 2 this afternoon.
So
So,
find something else to do an hour and a half.
I'm fast, I'm fast. Page 20 I was looking for. Are we now going to collect the garbage and stuff from the commercial properties?
We already have them.
No,
They have
Yeah.
their own dumpster.
each commercial property has their own, they have a waste manager.
Each commercial property was supposed to get their own.
Yes, absolutely.
Supposed to
But I
get
think
like
we're
that.
referring to the smaller ones that only have the 2 cans.
Yeah.
They don't have dumpsters, a lot of them.
Yeah, but you gotta delineate those, because these guys would be ready to get rid of waste management, and then there goes our cost up again. Right? Am I right or wrong?
Carol, what number was that you're looking
But in
Page
actuality,
20.
all
Huh?
commercial businesses either should or shouldn't.
What?
In my opinion. All commercial businesses should either have them or not have them.
Right, they should not have our pickups, because their pickups are too heavy. They have pickups more frequently than the regular residents.
Well, it would depend, if it's, is it an office, or is it a restaurant that seats
No,
one
it's all the
hundred
restaurants, it's basically all
Let's
the
say you're saying
restaurants.
restaurants, but there's other commercial properties in towns that are not restaurants.
Yeah, but it's not delineated. So therefore, they have the right to drop their commercial pickup.
What number are you at? Could you just give me
Page
the, don't give me
28.
the page, could you give me the, like 3-7? Because our page numbers
Page
are totally
seven.
different.
Borough pilots shall collect 4 receptacles not to exceed 40 pounds in weight each for the removal of garbage, trash, and refuse from business or commercial establishments. Commercial establishments, that big restaurant next
Is
to
that the
you.
paper that Brian just gave you?
Yes,
What section are you referring to?
3-7A6.
Because that was in there previously too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I know it.
that's the original.
I know it, but years ago, we made them get their own paper. You know that, Rick, you were
Yes, we
there.
do.
So that whole section is a bit of a mess.
That is a mess.
So then you would reword it that it's more than the 2 containers as everybody else gets, you need a dumpster.
Yeah, but you also define all commercial properties that have a mercantile license. So, any commercial
You're referring
property
to the
has a
bulk pickup
mercantile
section.
license.
You're referring to the bulk pickup section.
In 7-6A6,
Yeah, 3-7A, it pertains to non-residential garbage, collection of bulk.
that's bulk pickup, well, we don't do bulk pickup for that either.
Section pertaining to commercial premises is 3-7B.
It's on page 22 on the one I gave you.
Non-commercial premises.
But it says, it does say there that you're not gonna collect garbage and refuse from businesses or commercial establishments as set forth. So you're deleting 3-7A6 by putting in this 3-7B over here? Why don't you just take it out? I guess 21 was one of the pages I was missing, actually, because I have a blank space on page 21. Anyway, I think those two need to be reconciled.
And why don't we make a motion just to table it, and have Carol's concerns given to us?
I only have two
so
more,
we can
Beth.
go
I
through
only
it.
have two more.
So you refer to the section
It's
here,
hard.
please.
Okay, 3-7.11. Oh, on this one, it's, 4 is crossed out, 4 was not crossed out on the top.
No, it's okay.
Well, if it's crossed out, it's okay.
What was that again? 3-7.
B, the very bottom, it said no earlier than 4 or 5, but 4 was not crossed out on the copy on that. So,
Page 16 on your copy.
Sorry, I'm laughing. Killing us.
Okay, and on page 20 again, you've crossed out batteries.
That's not on page 20 that I'm looking at, but
3-7A, 3-7A.3.
that's not page 20. That's
It's on page 20.
Okay.
And it says,
household batteries are
Any
accepted
other
with household
no,
trash.
yeah, but the middle line there, no person or entity shall place or cause to be placed for reflection by the contractor.
Right.
Any of the following, tires, and then you crossed out the batteries. I think you should leave car batteries in there. Because they are hazardous material, aren't they?
Sulfuric acid and lead. Sulfuric acid and lead, that's the thing.
Yeah, I think you should delineate that and make it car batteries and things. Because then you say down there, household batteries are accepted.
Car batteries are worth so much for these cord charge.
Yeah, 5 and 10.
$20.
Oh, I got ripped off.
Yes.
Yeah, but it says, or any hazardous material as defined by the Monmouth County Recreation Center. So there is a catch-all at the end
Finish.
Yeah.
With that, I'll make the motion to table.
I'll be happy to go first, second that, until it's the record, you okay with that, Carolyn?
Yeah, sure.
I think we have to reconcile some issues. Thank you, Ms. Falco.
So that has been tabled until further notice. And next, finally, for consideration is ordinance number 17-10 for, after public hearing for adoption. An ordinance amending chapter 7 of the traffic of the code, titled Traffic of the Code of the Borough of Highlands relating to areas of stop and intersection.
Stop signs shall be installed on Valley Street and go to the northwest and southeast corners of the intersection of Second Street.
And that request was made by the chief of police.
Everybody all right with that? Any questions on that? Okay, so, okay. We'll open and close public portion at the same time. Card offered it.
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Councilmember Breon,
Yes.
Councilmember Carr,
Yes.
Councilmember Diorigo,
Yes.
Councilmember Wells,
Yes.
and Mayor O'Neil.
Yes.
Ordinance 17-10 has been properly adopted.
Public portion. Orca.
Ms. Parker, Short Drive. I have a question on our flood mitigation projects. I pulled up, as part of looking at the budget and what our capital projects were, I pulled up Dale's presentation, which I'm sorry I missed. And on one of the slides, it's Stormwater Systems Improvement Project. And then section 2B, like a subsection of that, the intent of this project is to assist in reducing the flooding concerns in the affected areas. The project intent is to focus on stormwater going out, and the Army Corps of Engineers project focuses on tidal impacts. So now that we don't have an Army Corps project, what are we doing about our tidal impacts? And is that part of our capital budget for this year?
I would say no. As far as being part of the capital budget plan. To stop the water from coming in,
Mhm.
except for the duck bills, that's about that. Everything else is gonna get the water out.
Okay.
I believe it. Does anybody question that?
Not at all.
They
Yeah,
come
that's
in
spot
hand
on.
with each other, and what Rick is saying, is we're gonna focus on it, but the positive side of managing the water out will also inherently protect the water coming in. I've requested, for example, I've requested an RFP for, here, at the end of this bulkhead here, the ductbill's been broken and repaired, that's gonna keep the water from coming in. We start there, so it's a combination of the projects. I know Becky and Rick have been working on this. You know, Valley Street, Rick, you had said that whole street was gonna be worked on and completed soon, so.
I understand we have 70,000 for duck bills that was allocated last year that's been put aside, and we're doing duck bills this year. Do we have enough money to do all the duck bills? Because if we don't put them in the right spots, we're still gonna have tidal flooding. So we should probably do all the duck bills.
I can't answer that right now. I don't know what the exact number of duck bills are. I know I saw it today somewhere. Thought it was somewhere around 30.
I wanna say there was enough money to do, I think, 5, and we were gonna pay half, for 2017's budget, we were gonna pay half, and we had grant for half. And then there was $70,000 last year.
Yeah, 70 and then $50,000 grant that we had, correct me if I'm wrong. So you added up, and we also found, I think, 5 or 4 duck bills.
So you have no idea if at the end of 2017, we're gonna have all our duck bills fixed? Because we don't know if we budgeted for it, we have no idea.
The question is, it's not whether we could all be fixed, it's something like, for example, I was going out there and actually taking photographs of a lot of them, but I'm no longer involved in that part of the program anymore, so. But a lot of the outfall pipes, we can't even find them. A couple of them, we were just talking about it, it's completely, we're down on South Street, right? South Bay.
At the end.
We don't know where we find it, so also we've identified Veterans Park is gonna get one, and I think at the end of
So every duck bill that we see, is it going to be fixed by the end of 2017?
We're gonna try
Well,
to.
not
Yeah,
all, not all of them aren't
Oh,
working,
broken, yeah.
aren't working. But to tell you right, to be perfectly honest with you, Tim, I can't say that they all will be. No.
Yeah, no, will they all be, but there will be some installed, I said at the last council meeting. Warmer weather's coming up and people can go in there, the Mark's aware of the DPW. It's not like we have to hire someone special to go out and install these. We just gotta make sure the right weather and the right opportunities to do it.
So we have half a plan for the duck bills. The Army Corps project also was going to do something similar to the D-Biz pipe that got scrapped.
No, they weren't,
There was going to be drainage that was going to come down.
no, they weren't. That was an add-on. They made it very clear in several other meetings, they discussed it and they gave us options. That would be above and beyond the scope of their project. So that would have been an add-on to the cost of the project.
Okay. Well, how are we handling the water that's coming down from 36 now?
You gotta talk to Rick about that.
I
Yes,
mean,
we're gonna put a pump in.
is the pump's going to handle all the sand that comes down the hill?
Can't say that's gonna happen.
So how are we going to catch that sand?
I'll
How,
defer to Dale because there is some design on this. That sort of,
I saw that there was going to be a bigger, I don't know, forgive, culvert drainage thing over here. But if the sand,
that was with the pump.
Yeah, before,
There was gonna be a basin there.
yeah,
right?
before Dale speaks, that I was championing putting a pump station out there, and I was moving forward with that. But because the Corps engineer did give us some good information about how they think that water should be managed. I believe many moons ago there was a previous mayor that wanted to encase this whole junk, this creek down here, encase it and stuff like that. We would not have to use a pump, which then would reduce maintenance costs and permitting and yearly maintenance. So unfortunately, I have changed my mind as a result of being educated a little bit from the Corps of Engineers. The engineers were good guys. We have to explore that because if we put a pump station out here, we have to have it inspected every year, and that's a heavy cost. If we get the same effect by encasing all this, I think we should explore that option. It's a substantially cheaper to do. It's whether or not it will do the job we want it to do. According to the Corps of Engineers, it would.
How
And
will
I
it
don't
be?
believe-
Into that.
How
I
will
believe
it
as
be?
you said, that was part of the Army Corps job.
How will encasing that stop the sand from coming down
It-
from the hills and clogging up our system?
Well, that's, as I've investigated, it's two problems. First, Monmouth County's got to put better barriers up there on the highway to keep from Monmouth Hills sand coming down and infiltrating our system. They've put a bigger apron up on Monmouth Hills there, and that's helped out quite a bit. But we also have to have a maintenance program requiring us to clean out by Veterans Park,
Huddy?
the American Legion there,
BMW.
the VFW, I'm sorry, the VFW, to clean that creek out on a regular routine basis. We don't need a permit to do that. We can go in there and do that without. It's part of preventive maintenance program. We need to get that established.
I know some people that want some sand on the beaches.
That
I was thinking the same thing.
You don't want that saying.
No,
But that was done, that was a standard procedure from before, they ran a bobcat and they used their backhoe and they got the sand over.
Okay.
On that side. We used to call the county and the mosquito commission would come in and dredge this side. And it is a mess when it happens, there's no doubt about it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Francie?
Just one quick question. You mentioned the Valley Street project. Is that the continuation of the pump repair and now the storm drain all the way up to Shore Drive? Is that,
I believe that that's what we have to go back to now.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
What we had to go back to, that's what we have to go back to.
Yeah, is there
that plan.
is there a plan for starting that at this point?
I think it's engineered, correct?
It's engineered, just a matter of making sure the two projects meet up. The project that was
Okay,
just
but that's
prepared.
been that's been where we've been at for 4 months.
Oh, understood. I haven't
You've
seen
been at for
anything
6
to
years.
say otherwise.
No. I mean, at this point, what Dale is saying, matching up what the emergency work versus the design plan, you've been there. At this point, you know, are we ready to move ahead?
Can we just make a motion to have a resolution at the next meeting to move ahead with these projects? I mean, we just discussed it recently.
Absolutely.
We put the money aside, we've had the presentation. Can we have those resolutions ready for May 3rd to say what we're gonna do in 2017 and how it's gonna get done? And
Well,
when?
what resolution are you referring to for Valley? Because there's two trains of thought. And again, I don't know what was installed, so I'm not gonna say whether it will work or not. But say it won't handle the extra water that was gonna be taken from Cedar and Fifth and coming across Atlantic down Bay, then you go back to the pipe you had, potentially. If it will handle it, and then you wanna go with that larger pipe that'll handle that watershed. So that's where we are right now. That the unknown is whether the two projects will actually work together. And that has to be verified.
We should have got as-built on that job.
Okay, at this point, you've got a 6x8 access cover where you can go down into the hole and measure what's installed. I don't know that it's such a big deal, but you've been sitting at this particular point, not
You
knowing
say it's
what
not
is.
such a big deal, Chris, but it should have came with as-built, so you don't have to do that.
But
That's how
Jesus,
it,
but
that's
we
how it
can't-
really gets done.
We can't undo it.
Okay.
We can't undo that they don't have as-bills. So are we gonna sit here not doing the project until what?
Chris, I need direction. I just can't go out and start doing stuff.
I understand you
You
need
know.
direction. At this point,
You
where's
know,
the?
you come here and you harp on this all the time, Chris, but you were involved in this years ago. Years ago.
Ricky, I understand. I'm trying to get it started again. It was
Okay,
being
Chris,
held.
Chris, hang on just one second. Brian, we have the as-built, right?
Yeah.
Can we get the
Okay,
as-built over to
there you
Dale,
go.
so
Let's
Dale
get the
can
as-built.
see what the
Yeah.
size of the pipes are, then we can move forward?
And I was involved in that repair, Chris, and the engineer for Tripar assured us to the best of his ability of engineering, I don't want to speak in his behalf, that he was fully aware of what T&M had designed, and I appreciate what Dale's saying, he wants to make sure and certainty, but I'm almost 90% positive the project is not gonna have a problem moving forward from that endpoint, that box,
Right.
the rest of the way up.
I'm really not trying to litigate
That'd be
anything
great.
that, I'm trying to move us from where we are, which is sitting
Well, that's what
there.
I'm saying, we have the as-built, Brian is gonna get it over to Dale, Dale will have the measurements, and then we can move forward from there.
Okay, I just trying, guys.
Anybody else? I need to hold this, sorry.
Campbell Shore Drive. I'd like to know the reasoning behind charging for the summer rec program. Has the economy in this town changed? We have over 60% free and reduced lunches at the elementary school. And many of those kids come here for the rec program. How are they going to afford to pay to come to, the program they've come to for years? I just think we should revisit that over.
Well, I'm the person that kind of put this forward, so I will explain where I came from with this. I went around and I looked at different towns. I looked at the demographics of some local towns, and I looked at, on Monmouth County records, at the financial demographics of different towns. The average income for a family of four in the town of Highlands listed in Monmouth County records is $66,635. I went to towns from Asbury Park all the way up to Rumson, just to get a broad range. Asbury Park's median income for a family of four is $32,459. They charge for registration for their half-day summer camp, $96. For their full day, per child, for their full day, they charge $112. I went to Redmond, their median income is $62,000 for a family of four.
Are they subsidized at all?
No, this is just the registration fee.
I know what I mean.
No, they have to pay these fees. They have to pay these fees.
Yeah, she's asking about.
Nancy, just let her go first, and then, I'm sorry.
So, Red Bank Summer Camp, they charge $75 a week. Their median income for family of four is $62,000. For residents, they charge $100. For non-residents, they charge $100 a week per kid. And I asked how many kids were scholarships. They're not that many. Okay.
So much higher.
And then I went to Eatontown, their median income still is lower than ours, which is $64,000 for,
How many free and reduced lunches does schools have in that town?
well, I would say Asbury Park has a lot more reduced lunches than we do. I would really say
I
that.
would be curious.
Well,
Is
in
that per
Eatontown
capita?
probably too.
Or just because more money?
So in Eatontown, they charge $145 for the registration fee. The registration fee, see what happens here is that we have 151 students or children
registered for our summer day camp program. We have to hire counselors based on that number. On average, 60 came a day. So we had staffing for 150 based on the free registration, but we really didn't need that because on average, 60 kids a day came. So when I questioned that, I was told, well, some of these employees are then sent home. So now we're hiring employees for summer work, and then based on who shows up, we're sending people home, or we're letting them stay there and they're having 2 and 3 kids in their group. And we're funding that from our tax dollars, which seems kind of wasteful when we can do a registration fee to know how many truly are going to our program.
The food is subsidized by the state.
The food is subsidized by the state. So it's $35 for 2 kids in a family, which is $17.50 per child for a registration for a 6-week camp that they don't pay for.
I still think, you know what, my kids went here, I know a lot of families in town. I know a lot of families in town that, unfortunately, those 2 meals of the day they come here for this rec program are the only 2 meals they get that are wholesome, good meals. So you know what, you can sit here and tell me all about income at Great Park, Eaton Town, wherever. I feel that we should still have the free program. It's a good program. I mean, we've had it for years.
It's
I don't know
still
how
free,
long
it's a
we've had it.
registration fee for the
I mean,
administrative costs.
waive the registration fee for our residents and open it up to other towns and charge them, you know, fees, the registration fees. But I feel strongly that it should be. I mean, that's my opinion. You know, I mean, I've been around for a while. I don't know how long you've been around, how long you've seen this program go, but it's a good program. I mean,
Well, I've been in town for 12 years.
Yes, I did. I stated my case on it.
I went mine too.
Public hearings next
Nancy, you want to say?
Yeah, you know, I don't know how this is gonna play
Just
out.
your name and address for
Oh,
the
yeah, I'm
record.
sorry. Nancy Messina, you got his name and address.
Oh, 23A North Street. You know, I don't know how this is gonna play out. I think it's very important, Irene brought up about the free and reduced lunch, because there is no way that that's the medium income that these kids are getting free and reduced lunch, or somebody's making a big mistake and the government isn't catching it.
This isn't affecting the breakfast or lunch, just so that you're clear on that.
She's
Yeah,
talking
it's
about the
still
school.
registration fee, that's what I'm saying, you know, these kids are still coming here. And if for some reason it does go through, are you going to like help out as you give these scholarships for families that cannot afford it? Because otherwise, some parents cannot afford to send their children anywhere else. And it's not only babysitting, I mean, I know Carol and I were discussing that before, it's not just babysitting. Sometimes the parents are home, and it's the only opportunity these kids have to go out and do something.
Well, there were 7 paid activities during the 6-week period. One of them was Fun Time America, where there were 62 children that went at $29 a kid. They found the money to pay $29 a child to send 62 kids to Fun Time America, but they can't pay a registration fee so that we can monitor and make sure we have proper staffing, we're not overstaffing, we're not wasting we're being fiscally responsible. Our recreation budget for our summer recreation program was $40,000 out of the $100,000 for the full year budget, just for the summer program. It's almost half of the budget. That's for 6 weeks.
years ago, the entire program was funded. The trips were paid by the.
Yes, but it's not anymore.
It's changed, it's changed.
Yes.
The trips changed.
I agree.
And there are a few people that have told me they can't come on trip days, they feel bad because they can't afford to come on. I mean, I'm not
Again, it's
saying-
always, you're getting 60 kids out of 150.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're still getting.
So now they'll send their kids
Yeah,
out.
but if you hire people for
Wait,
hiring.
Carol, you know how this works.
No, it's 60.
Want to finish this?
I would encourage you to reach out to Ms. Carrillo, because she wants to up the game here, make our program stronger than what it was. And yes, historically, it was a great program when we still ran it.
And it still is a great program.
Oh,
She
yeah.
does a good job, a very, very good job.
Yeah.
I'm not,
Just so you
but
know.
we want to make it that much stronger and that much better, and if we have to, everybody's got to contribute a little bit. And she's trying to measure it out, and that's why we're doing what we're doing here. We want stronger programs for the kids across the board.
encourage you to reach out to her and input all of us here. There's no hindering.
I just think it should be maybe tabled and for us to discuss it a little further.
This isn't being voted on tonight.
We voted on the third.
That's why I'm encouraging you to reach out, discuss it between now and then.
And how do I reach?
We're on the webpage, our phone numbers are there, and our emails are there.
Nancy Burton, 22 Atlantic Street. I just wanted to say about the no registration after June 28th. I would hope that maybe you would consider not doing that because new residents move in all the time, especially in the summer. You may miss out.
And of course, we would do an exception if someone moved in after the 20th.
That's not what it says. It says no late registration after June 28th or something. I just thought that was, maybe you could consider not doing that. I'm very impressed with I went on the web too to see how much camps were. We have sent our children to Middletown Recreation Department. You spend $123 a week, Atlantic Highlands, so, I was in line with the $35 registration fee. I would encourage scholarships. I'm sure we could find some organizations in town to help fund it. We have a reasoning for doing it. I just hope it doesn't affect the funding that we receive for staff or lunch. I'm sure that you'll look into that. As for the garbage pickup, I own In the Garden, 69 Waterwich Avenue. I was under the understanding that commercial properties, up until now, we were allowed to put out up to 4 containers for municipal pickup. If that's not the case, when that ordinance was going in place, I looked into what it would cost for me to have commercial pickup. It was very costly for 4 cans. I'm right on the cusp of the 4 cans per pickup. So if you could take that into consideration when you're rewriting that ordinance, what your smaller commercial properties would have, trash-wise, whether they have to get privatized pickup or go along with the municipal, just keep that in mind.
What's in the ordinance about the 4 cans that could be no larger than the 40-gallon trash cans is by making that the limit for commercial businesses, that takes out the gigantic dumpsters and the huge restaurants and those type of more garbage generating establishments. And I realized that the ordinance was as horrible as the ordinance is, because it's so long. I realized that the ordinance was contradictory because in one paragraph, it says that we did collect commercial garbage, and in the very next paragraph, it said that we didn't. So I just went out one night and I saw on my trash night, I just walked around the corner and the businesses had their trash cans out as well. And I knew that they were only for the business, not for the apartment above, because there was no apartment above, but it had the number written on the can. So I was like, well, apparently this is what we do, even though we have a contract ordinance. So that's for both of you on that one.
The current ordinance says you do and you don't.
Exactly.
Right.
I believe when it was introduced, it was straight across the board. Commercial was, you had to get your own vendor. Things got contorted because of commercial business. One of them was the place right across from Borough Hall, when it was Adele's. Yeah. What's that? First they were having a dumpster, then they weren't having a dumpster, and that's where I believe it all got.
If I remember correctly, my quote was $599 a month for commercial pickup.
I'm not saying that.
No, I'm just saying, that
I'm not saying
covers
that
them
it's
though,
not
for a
right.
small business, that's a big
And
ticket.
as a matter of fact, the guy who's right here on Cuddy Avenue, who was in the garbage business, wanted to help out, and he wasn't, his input really wasn't put in, because that's what he did. He was a garbage guy, so he worked it out, but that wasn't accepted. And it was pretty much convoluted from the get-go.
HPP stuck their trunk under the tent.
I don't know if that's what happened, but something happened.
How
Anybody
about
else,
selling
public
something
portion?
garbage? I did want to say something about the recreation, even though the public hearing is May 3rd. I think that if you charge a registration fee, the kids will be more forced to come,
Right.
more or less. If you don't charge a fee, if they don't get up, they won't come. If they get up, they'll come. Meantime, you have staff here to handle 150 kids, and you have 60. It doesn't make sense. They'll be more inclined to come if they have to pay something to register, I think, my opinion.
Thanks.
I don't know, I have kids, and I know a lot of people that have kids, and my money's not that important to them. Their money's important to them, so I don't know. All right, with that, I'll
Just
close
wait,
public.
I was gonna say, just before we leave, just two very quick things. I know we've been talking about it on email, but townwide yard sale, a lot of people are very interested in doing it. I put together the little flyers, taking bits and pieces from the last one we did in other towns. Does June 10th work for everyone? Is everyone on board with this? I'll assist Brian and Shelley as much as I can. Becky's also to help out. So there you have it, townwide yard sale, June 10th.
Have a big one in the land every year.
Yes, they do.
That's like next week, I think, 26th.
Second thing was, I sent this to all of you guys, and that was the communications committee recommendations for council. One of their recommendations was to, they wanted to make a communications committee page, much like how Jen Stroh has her page, where it just says Jen Rec, and she posts on the official Highlands Borough page, because they wanted to help, because it's pretty much Jen and I do most of the posting onto the official borough page. And so they wanted to get more of a buzz on it by doing constant reminders, like when your trash pickup is, what zone you are, if it's bulk, HPP event reminders, the Arts Council, Garden Club, any sort of borough events from all of our different community organizations and things that are going on in town. So I just wanted to get your all buy-in on allowing them to be administrators so they could post it with the same way that we post now, where it's just information out, there's no commenting, no politics, it's only information about the town and town events.
Who's gonna do it?
The members of the communication.
I just have a question, because I don't know if it's different than when we were trying to do the rec page with Greg Wells, and then it became a big to-do. Like, really, it's Brian, what do you think? I mean,
This would be posting on the one page, so
just
it's
have
not
one
posting
page
on
on one
one
page,
page.
it's okay.
It would be one focus page, so.
This is a Facebook page?
Yeah.
Okay, the
The,
Facebook page.
the official Borough Highlands
Yes.
Facebook page. And so it would just be reminders of events and stuff going on in town, and I just can't do it all. Okay, great.
Good.
I'm
Okay, I have
done.
one more thing. All right, just
One more thing.
just like last year, we had, the bonfire, we're gonna have it again June 2nd. We didn't have a recreation committee meeting this month. But everybody that helped last year is helping this year and has signed on, so Val's working diligently getting the music, the fire department's gonna do the bonfire, they're gonna order the wood, all that fun.
Oh, wait a minute, before you order wood, something that came up in Shade Tree last night was JCP&L went around uptown and they cut a ton of trees and they didn't pick up their branches. And there's been a he said, she said going on about they don't wanna pick it up and the town's
it's probably
fault and
gone.
it's going back and forth. Why don't we just
Right.
pick it all up,
Most
chop
of
it
it's
up,
probably
and
gone.
then we'll have firewood? No, it's not, it's just up there, he said it's a mess up there.
It was a very clear-cut agreement, they were gonna cut down these trees and leave it for us to pick up. That was very clear.
Well, it's left,
Yep.
and why don't we use it?
Alright, well, just let me know, I mean, if you talk to Mark, let us know where you're gonna store it and stuff, and, cause we'll have to get it that day.
Mhm.
But pretty much all the organizations that participated last year signed up to do this year, so I think it should be a good event.
And I do apologize for canceling the last recreation meeting, but it was the night before the meeting that Dale and I were going to for the insurance thing, and I had a lot of stuff that I just really wanted to be focused on to make sure that we were successful.
Okay. Good. Right. I'd like to introduce Pat Mason, the new OEM coordinator.
Thank you very much.
Down here. Come do a good job, I know that. I've seen him in
That's what I
action
did in
before.
Seabright, so I'm at your service.
Okay.
I do have a suggestion for recreational. Aisha said it to me.
people for the townwide garage sale. Maybe collect donations and sell stuff here, put it toward the recreation department.
There's opportunity for fundraiser, even at the bonfire or even in the garage sale. I mean, I would clean my house and have a table and you run it yourself and then everything that's made, I mean, we're only talking about $2,600 here.
Right.
If that's really what we're talking about, that's a very simple fundraiser. That's a quick raffle, that's a quick, and I do agree, I mean, my daughter went to Atlantic Highlands, we paid $125 for the summer, I thought that was a bargain. So I'm not disagreeing that there should be a fee for processing. But I also know that the median income in this town is very difficult to use because a lot of the higher income families are not the families that we're talking about that come here in the summer. So I do know for a lot of these families it would be difficult. $35 may make a difference. So if we could do a quick fundraiser, whether it be a raffle at the bonfire or the kids do a bake sale at the townwide garage sale, you may quickly be able to come to even more higher than that number, waive the fee, have your money for your staff, and everybody wins. I don't know, just a thought.
Next page.
Thanks for your volunteer, Patrick.
Anytime.
Have a good night.